Across all endeavors in life, risks must be taken. Absolutely all of it. Nelson Mandela mentioned, "There is no passion to be found in playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." I am certain that throughout your life, whether it was school or deciding on a major, people asked you, make sure you got something to fall back on. I, however, never quite understood this idea of something to fall back on. I do not want to fall back on anything. If I am to fall, I want to fall forward. At least this way I know what I am going to hit. You will never reach your destination so long as you are moving in circles. So do what you are passionate about and take risks. There's this old IQ test that had 9 dots, and you had to use a pencil to draw 5 lines without lifting it. The only way to succeed was to go out of bounds. Thinking big is the first step to success and to achieve one's goals. Reggie Jackson hit 2,600 home runs, making him the greatest home run hitter in baseball's history. But all those strikeouts are hardly ever talked about. Thomas Edison once said, "I did not fail. I found 1,000 ways that won't work." He stated this due to the light bulb being his final product after the 1,001 attempts. Losing hope isn't an option, because every time one stumbles, they're closer to achieving their goals. Risk-taking is essential for success, but this isn't something that people are comfortable with. Taking risks can be terrifying and makes people cringe for all the right reasons. Everyone strives to be the best in life, but let's face it, no one is perfect at everything. This isn't the most exciting news to shed light on and doesn't exactly scream celebratory, but it is nonetheless a fact. The truth is, in theatre and acting, one fails in their pursuit all the time. Once in my life, I tried landing a Broadway role in a musical. Although I cannot sing well, I felt like the role was designed for me. I did not book the role. But here's what I shall say. I didn't stop. I didn't backtrack. I left the studio to prepare for one more audition. Over a dozen auditions later, I was exhausted. I began to pray after each one. Continuously I failed, and then failed again and again and again. But it is fine, because there is a popular phrase that states, if you stay at a barbershop long enough, over time, you will get a haircut. So yes, I did eventually get a break. Unfortunately, I had to wait decades. Just last year, I performed in a play called Fences, but here's the kicker, it was on Broadway. Do you remember where I failed my first audition 30 years ago? Court Theatre. The sad part is, that was the same place where I bombed my first audition for the role. The point is, you as well as every single graduate here today are fully capable of achieving anything in the world. However, my question for all of you remains the same. Can you actually face the possibility of failure? If you do, it means you are attempting something. Let me reiterate, if you do not face the outcome of failing, it indicates that you are putting in zero effort. To acquire something that you have never possessed, you need to undertake something that you have never tried before. Consider the following. Envision yourself in the hospital deathbed for a moment and visualize a few souls surrounding yourself, representing every bit of untapped potential within you. Picture the ghost of the ideas that you never acted upon and the ghost of the skills remaining dormant inside you. There they are, encircling your deathbed, resentful, frustrated and sorrowful all at once, saying, "We came to you because you could have brought us into the world. Now we have to go to the grave together. This is what haunts your existence." So let me ask you today, when your timely demise approaches, how many souls are going to surround you? I just came back from South Africa. It is a stunning country. but there are some regions afflicted with terrible poverty and still untouched. And that is just a small fraction of a much larger problem. The Middle East cries out for assistance, and so does Japan, Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana, and Philadelphia. The need is truly staggering. You can believe me when I say that it comes down to personal perspectives, and I assure you, we're relying on you to do just that. From where I stand, I know I've got a little grayer. I'm sure each one of us sitting over here has a different viewpoint. Keep in mind this: whether you choose to give your prayers, time, treasures, or talents, putting in your best has to be the primary focus. The effort you choose to put forth defines the outcome. So what are you willing to do with the resources you possess? It is not a question of how much resources you possess. For example, certain individuals pursue nursing, while some study business or even sociology and theology. Some of you have love, money, kindness, and gift of patience, while some show great compassion and long-suffering. So the bottom line is, there are a myriad of gifts to choose from, but it all depends on the action you decide to take. Let us go back to the ideal of failure. More often than not, the road to self-discovery is cruising through failure, and that is perfectly acceptable. Always remember that there are no straight paths when it comes to life. Personally, I began my path at Fordham University in a state of pre-med, ready to learn during my course on cardiac morphogenesis. What a fragmented sentence, and what a fragmented memory. All I remember is the fateful day of March 27th, 1975. Had it not been for my mother's beauty shop, I might still be dreaming about my pre-law or journalism degrees somewhere in Mount Vernon. What broke the ice was an elder who was always gazing behind her to make supper. She set me on the path that I'm about to reveal. Turns out, life does have some twists. Old ladies have something unique to say as well. Instead of witnessing yet another mundane hairstyling session, I was violently yanked away from my stupor when she so keenly told me, "Young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy. What preserves me in this monkey-on-the-string world with a 1.8 GPA is my eluding self-awareness and no-strung hopes." The day I was suggested to take time off university, I hit absolute rock bottom. However, after my meeting, I was able to turn everything around. I'm forever grateful for that woman. She puts my mother's beauty shop at the center of my existence, where I remember deepest, darkest era, where I'm surely not forgetting kids. Only if I had her painting my dreams instead of me having to internally suffer through a myriad of options without actually singing to them. She said, "You are set to explore the entire world and converse with several millions of people." And I have lived as that woman had foretold as of now. I round the realms of earth and have spoken to millions through the medium of my movies. People who, to this day, could not see me, but I could millions who up until this day I couldn't see while I was talking to them, and they couldn't see me. They could only see the movie. They couldn't see the real me. What I see today gives me hope. I am inspired and encouraged by, because taking risks is not just about attaining a job or pursuing a career, but rather knowing what you know and what you do not. It is about being accessible to people and to ideas. The chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have that's what's going to define you. Never be discouraged. Never restrain yourself. Give it all you got. And when you stumble through life, remember this: fall forward.